I give y'all a minute to get in here. Love and happiness. Well, something that'll make you do wrong. I'm going to keep on singing till you come in. Make you do right. Hey, hey. There you go. All right, Prima Wanda. Love. People, I did go on. I'm sure many of you are curious about this person. What's her name? Jay Speaks. Okay, so we were all right. Some of us said that Jay Speaks was a woman. Some of us said that Jay Speaks was a man. And it looks like both answers are correct. Jay Speaks, according to him, was born a woman, right? And now lives at, this is something that annoyed me about this interview. I'm still not clear. When the question was put, which pronouns do you go by? Are you he? Are you a she? Oh, I just do it either way. No, Jay Speaks. Let me give you some advice, honey. I'm not a transgender person, but you need to make up your mind. Do you want us to address you as a him or as a her? Now, gay men, they always calling each other Miss Thing, girl, honey, sugar, all that stuff, right? But there's never a question as to what gender they are. For you specifically, we need to know so that we are respectful, right? I call you a girl. I don't want to be checked every time I call you a girl if you're saying that it doesn't make a difference to you. So I think that should have been made more clear. All right. So hi, people. I'll speak to you guys in a second. I see a lot of y'all here. Hey. Okay. She said she lied about being born male and several other things. I thought the beginning of this interview, I felt like Mona Simone was leading this person, giving her answers, putting words into her mouth. See, there we go. We're going already. So this is a he. Because I don't have a problem calling you whatever you want to be called, but I need to know what that is. So is he saying, okay. See, you would think at the end of this interview, it would be clear. So she said she was born female and he identified as either male or female. Now, what do I do with that? Since he's been presenting for the last 2 weeks as male, we'll just stick with male. I'll try to stay with male. I do not mean disrespect to people or to misgender people. I'm just doing the best I can. Okay. Okay. I thought Mona was giving him all this language about two spirits and, the Indian language, a person having more than one spirit in them. Those words were not coming out of Jay Speaks' mouth. They were coming out of Mona's mouth. And many times, like even when Mona asked him, hold on a minute. Did he know he was? Okay. Mona asked him, how long have you been twin spirited? Then she asked him, and he answered, I didn't know, I wasn't even familiar with the term until you told me. So the first conversation with Mona was yesterday. So why is Mona giving this person new terms? The person is in their 30s. Why has he been introduced to terms that he's not even aware of? So Mona, we need you to stop putting words into this person's mouth. We'd rather just hear their answers. But about these answer thing, how long is Barack Obama interviewed when he's interviewed? How long is Beyonce interviewed when Beyonce is interviewed? Jay-Z, Michelle Obama. Where are we getting these long ass interviews for a person who is barely even on YouTube? I mean, they don't even have a channel. They ain't been on YouTube but a week and a half, and yet you told me I walked away. It was a 1 hour and 20 minutes of an interview of basically a subscriber, right? Mona said, "Oh, we got about an hour to go." I said, "Okay, girl, no, I feel like I'm being taken hostage here. I have not got my whole night to spend on you interviewing some anonymous person, right? Yes, I was as curious as anybody else, but a 2.5 hour interview for an unknown person who's not even known as a YouTuber. Come on now. But I got an hour and 20 minutes in. Okay. He didn't know. Okay. Pronouns. He won't commit. So that's only going to cause you confusion in your life. So Jay Speak says that he very rarely left home. He is primarily a hermit or a homebody who, even when we're not in, I mean, we're all that now, but even when we're not, he very rarely leaves his home, right? So he may be somewhat sheltered or not privy to all of the current slang and the language that people uses and so forth, right? But he should learn to commit to a gender. It's important. It's important because people need to know how to be respectful to you. I think I just said that. Okay. He said he started off watching. Oh yeah, I'll try to stay on track here. This is a whole lot of information. He said he started out listening to VS. That was the entertainment. So he's probably like a lot of people. We wander into this sector, and a lot of us don't like to admit it, but we enjoy the mess. If we wouldn't enjoy the mess, we wouldn't be here, right? I mean, what's the point of being over here? There's all kind of other places to be. So he wandered in and he watched VS first. You know, VS was a person who did this thing like no other. But then he says that now he doesn't watch a lot of people, but people became curious about this person because 2 weeks ago or a week and a half ago, they appeared and they started asking you all of this host of questions about the Phi Monster. You people who don't like me to use the name the Phi Monster, you're going to have to deal with it over here because that's who that is to me. He said we were all curious. I even appeared on, I think, Jay Dunn's live myself. I said, who is this person? Why is he so curious about Phi Monster? And I think my question might have been answered here. A couple of days ago, we heard that this person is actually interested in these super chats and stuff, right? So what I heard come out of his mouth tonight was, well, he says Phi Baby. I'm saying Phi Monster. She seems to get more super chats than anybody, right? That we found out later on that he's really, really interested. He sees this as a financial arrangement. And he was very curious about the Phi Monster, as many have been. Why are these people giving her the money? So I believe, this is only, me guessing, I believe his interest in the Phi Monster is when he came on here and he started paying attention when he was considering starting his own channel. Because when Mona pressed him, she said, well, tell me something that you like about the sector. He said, oh, it seems like an easy way to make money, a way you can make money from home. He's already told us that he makes he's primarily at home. He's a homebody. He very rarely leaves his house, right? So this seems like a practical thing. He can make some extra money, right? And then in the same conversation, he's saying that, well, it seems like the Phi Monster got more donations than anybody. So I think this is where the interest came from, because him and the Phi Monster apparently have no relationship at all. Their first conversation was today, and it was not all that nice. I did listen into that, right? So it seems to me that he was trying to figure out before he started his own page. He said he'd been looking in here for 4 or 5 years, but only actually been active for the last 2 weeks because people took an interest in him. And they only took an interest in him because he came on and he just appeared asking all these questions about the Phi Monster. We wanted to know if that was a plant, was it male, was it female? We wanted to know, what is this story about this person who is taking such an interest in the Phi Monster and who is showing up on panel after panel after panel after panel. And all they want to talk about is why we can't stand the Phi Monster. And was it because of the relationship with the church? Because this person sees himself as being a spiritual person. He says that the Phi Monster identified herself as a prophetess. Now, Jay Speaks, that ain't saying very much about your intelligence. To you actually bought into the idea that the Phi Monster, the woman with the filthiest mouth on the YouTube, that is the prophetess. Anyway. So he sees himself as someone, he comes out of the Church of God in Christ, Kojic, and maybe he feels himself like several of these other people who have been brought up in the church. Church is a big part of their life. He's trying to reconcile. What does all this mean? What is the tie between this money, this popularity, this mess, and the church, and the her being a prophetess? This is why he found the fire monster so interesting. So basically, it wasn't that he knew the fire monster or was supporting the fire monster. He was investigating the fire monster because he wanted to figure out a way to get into those coins. I'm not totally. I know you guys there. I'll be there in 1 second. Let me get through some of this stuff though. Okay. He said he's never been a content creator. He's looked in, like a whole lot of people do, from the bushes for the last 4 or 5 years. The beef sector has only been around for the last 3 years, so he's looking even before that. Now, there were people always here doing what we do here. We just decided to give it a name 3.5, 4 years ago. 3 years, 3.5 years ago, right? But he's been around before that. Started out by looking and watching VS. Never had any interest to recently. So maybe, I don't know, maybe he's having financial difficulties. He want to get in here and get some of them Fire Monster coins. I don't know. But they had them a hold down today. All right. Now, as I said, this thing went up. It went on for an hour and 20 minutes. I sat there patiently because I find it very hard to watch somebody for an hour and a half interview somebody else of no significance, and then tell us they're going to go on another hour. So apparently Mona's on here doing this even now. She's not finished yet. I mean, I can see if you were Prince Harry, Prince Charles, the Queen, somebody, girl, for fucking 2 hours, 2.5 hours. Anyway, the person said, so this is probably a confused person. There are several hints that he's actually got some mental health issues going on there, right? He says he felt he was led by God to come here. Now, people, whenever people start talking about they're led by God to do this and led to be, like it's an absolute thing, it gives me pause because it sounds just like that's what, when they interview the serial killers, the murderers, that's what they always say. I was led by God. God told me to do it. Even those freaks just a couple weeks ago, God was leading me because I had sexual impurities. God told me to do it. Be careful telling people what God told you. If God was talking to you, he was talking to you, not us, right? You don't know what spirit told you that. I guess he's gonna come over here and clean up the beef sector. Many have tried, honey. Okay, he was led here by God. I guess he's gonna clean up the behavior. So she pressed him. Mona did she did a pretty good job here. I didn't like the beginning. I thought the person was being led, and some of these questions were never answered, and she moved on. But it was pretty thorough. Okay. He says he enjoys. I get the impression this person is trying to figure this thing out so they can. This is like what happens when you're going to start a company and you want to go out there and investigate. You want to start a laundromat, right? So you start visiting other laundromats. You want to start a restaurant. You start visiting a lot of restaurants. This is what this person is trying to do, and she wants to figure out what the formula for the fire monster and getting all these people to give her money, because that has come up several times in the last 3 days. I heard from the horse's mouth today myself. Oh, are you going to super chat me when you go super chat me? Right? And the fire monster telling me, oh, you got to go away. You ain't gave me nothing. You ain't super chat. It's all about the money, baby. It's all about, what do you call it? It's all about where the money resides. Where the money resides, where the money resides. So perhaps if you were going to make your whole stick the fire monster, you could have communicated in some way with her first. And according to the fire monster, you had to put a color on it. In other words, a number. She wants the numbers or the gifts. Okay. So when Mona Simone pressed him, what do you like about this beef sector? He went right into the money. Potential for income. So I think that is where we're getting this fire monster thing. He said she seems to be the best at it, and that is where his interest was. And the first question, the first answer he comes up with when she asked him, what is something good that you like about this beef sector? He saw it as a way to make money. Everybody can't do this, baby. If you got a weak back, this is not for everybody. But better he learns now than to jump in there, right? Okay. He said he doesn't know if he is a gay man. Now, okay, so I guess the confusion is, I guess this is worth talking about, people. I mean, you guys want to talk about somebody for an anonymous person for 2.5 hours. So he said he doesn't know he was a gay man. So I think I've heard some of this from trans people who have transitioned from one to the other. So she was born a female, and then she transitioned into male, but you don't have to call her a male or female. I think some of this stuff, this confusion is coming from Mona Simone has fed him all these terms, these two spirits and all that. He came on saying that he was a man. By the time the interview was over, he don't know. He's both. Either way, it don't matter. Whatever. The confusion is if you have transitioned from being a female to a male now. So, and he said he's only had sex with men, right? So male to male will be a gay man, right? So now have I left being a woman to being a heterosexual man, or am I actually a gay man now because I'm only attracted to men and I am now identifying as a man, right? So it's not alien. People who have gone through transitions have spoken of this thing before. How to define themselves, where do they fit, right? But a person says, I haven't had sex in 20 years. I got news for you. That does not determine your sexuality. I haven't had sex in nearly that many years, and I'm just as gay as the day I was born. In kindergarten, second grade, third grade, all through my life, I've always been the same person. I've always been the exact same person, right? So even though you don't have sex, that does not determine your sexuality. All you women out there, those of you who care to be honest about it, if you are not having sex, does that make you a gay because you're not having sex? No, you're still whoever you are. If you're a straight woman who's not having sex, then you're a straight woman who's not having sex. You having sex has got nothing to do with your orientation, okay? If you're a man, you ain't had sex. There are many of these gay guys on here, particularly the ones my age, say they haven't had sex in a very, very long time. They didn't stop being gay because they stopped having sex. Your orientation is what your attraction is, honey. That's all it is what you're attracted to, what you think is sexy. But you don't have to have sex to do that. I mean, I've talked about this over and over again. All right, let's not get stuck. So he doesn't know. He has some confusion about that. And if he's staying in the house a lot, he doesn't interact with people a lot. It might stay confusing for him longer than it has to be. Because, I mean, if he was interacting with other people, other trans people. But Mona was giving him a language. She said, well, you can't say that you're trans. You're not trans. You're both spirits. And I said, girl, I was getting dizzy. I was trying to figure out, what the hell are you saying, honey? Just say it. Whichever you are, it's fine with me. But I think Mona's experience with this gender identity is bleeding into this confused person mind. And I think the person is somewhat confused. They talk about this camera slip he had a few days ago. She asked him, was the camera slip, or one of the subscribers asked, was the camera slip, was that intentional? It looked fake, right? And he hesitated. And then went on to something else. Well, obviously it wasn't. She said, well, obviously, if she was born a female, then the camera slip was of a male. No, that was not clear at all, honey. When I looked at that camera slip, I still thought it was a female, right? And so it's almost like Mona talked him in saying that was somebody else, but that's not what he said. You led him into saying that was someone else. We still don't know that that's true or not. He just already said that he's lied about several things to throw you off his scent. So apparently this dude has already been doxxed. And this is where all this, I hate to even say this word, whatever. They feel like they've already doxed. So Mona's channel leads to believe, oh, they doxed the wrong person. That was not the right person. So I couldn't even get a clear answer from this dude. Is what they're reporting about you having some kind of sex crime on your record? Is that you or not you? He didn't volunteer that information. Mona pulled it out and dressed it up the way she wanted to make it sound. So we're still not clear. Are you in the picture or are you not in the picture? Are you the person they doxed or was it not the person you doxed? We don't want you to create a story for us. We just wanted this guy to hear this guy's side of the story, right? First of all, you shouldn't be doxing nobody. Nobody should be doxing nobody. And I think it's very bold though to be asking people about their personal business to this extent. Mona Simone, is he allowed to ask you about your criminal records and all the things you've done in your life? Those are questions that are very, very personal. And I personally took offense at that you'll feel so bold as to ask this person to this extent their personal business, right? We don't ask people questions like that. Anyway. Okay, I ain't gonna go over the thing forever, people. You got to be at least a Beyonce, Michael Jackson, or at least a LaToya Jackson or somebody. God damn, 2.5 hours. Okay, so we get down to this Fire Monster thing now. Why were you asking all those questions about the Fire Monster? And that's when he went into this thing. She noticed the money she was getting. That was the very first thing that came out of her mouth. I noticed the money she was getting. That's why she wasn't interested in people who getting $100 a week. She wasn't interested in me. She wasn't interested in any of these people who she appeared on their panels, right? She wants to know where the money reside, because he was contemplating beginning a channel. And when he began that channel, it was for financial gain. That came out later on in this week as well. Okay. Mm-hmm. Second thing she noticed, see, it's so confusing. Just say I'm a man and you'll be a man. Okay. She noticed that Phi was a prophetess. So I guess since he is from a church background, they're into these labels and so forth. Even though nothing about Fire Monster resembles any kind of prophetess, he found that interesting. How is this person marinating the church experience with what she sees is clearly the mess of America, the pimple on America's ass? How can you be this and be that at the same time? So that drew this person to question about the Fire Monster, right? He wanted to know about the Fire Monster. He didn't want to know the Fire Monster. He has no interest in even talking to the Fire Monster. And when I saw them on the phone today, he called to cuss the Fire Monster out. Stop using my goddamn name. And the Fire Monster's reply was, well, haven't you been using my name? Ain't this the pot calling the kettle black? Right? I want to know where the money resides. At least he's honest. Maybe he wasn't paying much attention to what he was saying. Anyway. Only spoken to Fire in chat. He had never spoken to Fire Monster. Their first conversation was today. It was not pleasant. Y'all can look that one up if you want to. I think he called into Fire Monster's page. She cussed him out. Although I thought she kind of turned on him kind of severely before she even knew what the situation was. She's referring to him all kind of child molester or something, because she read in a chat some damn where. If you're going to accuse a person of being all that, honey, I would think you'll be ready to engage with them. But she just shoots from the hip. And so his first conversation with the Fire Monster was today. And I need to bring my light in here. And his first conversation with Mona was yesterday. Now, we all know that Mona has been trying to get her feet back into this beef sector. We could have asked you, Mona, what is it so fascinating about this particular sector? I think it'll be an interesting conversation. Perhaps somebody should interview you about why you have the desire to be here. I mean, you could be anywhere. You've been gone a long time kind of thing, but some reason, something about this place here is a draw. And that's not to be nasty. That's just to ask a serious question. What is the draw? Okay. He was doxxed. Okay. Okay, so then they went on with this camera slip deal. Baby, stop. He says that somehow or other he was testing Jay Dunn. You know what I think? I think this person is insecure about how they look. I think the person was born a female. When I saw the picture, he still looked like a female to me. I think he was just testing to see how people would react to the way he looks. So it sounds like he might have caused this camera slip for a reason. And I still believe that more than likely that was him. That person, he didn't seem neither male nor female, but he appeared to me to have the features of a woman. And his voice is certainly of a woman. But now we got to give him his props. I mean, that was very honest. That explained why he sounds like a female, because he was born a female, right? Okay. All right. Answer the question about the camera slip. Yes, it was intentional how people react to the slip. Okay. Mona went on to say, "Oh, of course not. Of course he was. It was not him. That was not him. He was born a female, and that was a male. What did he just say? He was living as a male? The fuck are you talking about, Mona Simone? I didn't get that part. But I was unwilling to sit there for another hour to listen to that now. Okay. Now we know who you are. Jay Speaks. We know enough about you, honey. I know more about you than I know about anybody on this goddamn thing. I've been on here 4 years. So you don't owe people an explanation about your entire life, right? You could, I'll give you your props. You came on, you made a little splash. You did this Sir King thing. You came on, you were all over the chats and all this kind of stuff. Then you announced you got your own page. You've already said you see it as a financial solution for you. And it is. I mean, it can be. Right? But I couldn't go any further than that, people. Okay, hello, people. How y'all doing today? Hold on. I did figure out how to get these things bigger. Okay, there you go. Hey, people, y'all watch it? I don't know how people. Where do y'all find the time? All these 7 and 8 and 12-hour lives, 2.5-hour interviews. I mean, when somebody comes on Barbara Walters or some girl, they only go in there 30 minutes. How long does Oprah do an interview? Are they about 15 minutes or something like that? Anyway. Yeah, it was dry as hell today. So I know these people looking for content. Mona Simone, you figure you don't hit your pony onto this story and you gonna ride, baby, ride. Okay. Let me see. Hi, Elaine. Tim, it's because of Kwani's video. She did a video telling Jay Speaks being a child molester or kid. Oh, okay. See, I'm not watching all these. I can't. I'm sorry, Elaine. I don't know where y'all can find the time. Or you just jump through it. You just get a few minutes here and a few minutes there. Because these people, I mean, all these videos that like an hour, 2 hours. I mean, if you watch just 3 of them, that's 6 hours. I guess you don't have to watch. Let me open this window. It's burning up. Hold on. I'm gonna look at my ass. Y'all always trying to look and get a peek. Okay. And in my personal life, I did go over to the guy in Safeway, and he bought the old computer. So that was good. That didn't cost me nothing. And this thing looks fine. And we don't even have a light on. The light's in another room. I may have to get a second ring light. So it all worked out well. Okay. No, I didn't see Kwani's video. I did see that Fire Monster thing. And then a few minutes later, she came back on, and then they were going back at it, back and forth. What the hell was being said? Yeah, she called them all this kind of. You can't be calling these people. First of all, it's not your goddamn business, girl. Somebody got a record, some shit they done did 15, 20 years ago. It ain't for you to go on here announcing it to the internet. And I don't care how you people feel about it. You have a right to know and all this kind of stuff. Child, please. You don't have a right to know people's. Are they telling you all their business? Whatever. So we don't. I don't follow none of these child molesting shit. I don't trust none of you people. Not you guys. Usually all lovely and gorgeous and good. But all these people always accusing people of this and you are that and you a rapist and you are. I don't listen to any of that shit. I don't find it amusing. I don't find it entertaining in the least. And most of all, I don't find it to be any of my business. You're not out. You're not in my town. Even you ain't touching nobody that I know. You ain't around no children. Why is it my business? But they always, that's their go-to, you know. Get behind me, Satan. That's behind the throne. Get behind me, Satan. I wasn't expecting this on today. Glad I'm here for these laughs. I looked. She's on there still going, I guess. Baby, Mona Simone needed her a story. And so she is hooked onto this one and she is not letting it go. Looking super clear. Oh, that's great. That's great. Consider, I see it, the color moving a little bit, but that's because there's no light in here. Usually you have to have a ring light. You know, the sun's starting to go down a little bit. Hey, Mars and Quaz. Hi, Lily of the Valley. You're the Lily of the Valley. You look great in your computer. Okay. Hey, it looks clear. Okay. Y'all like these old computers. It's worth it. It's worth it not to have the headaches, honey. So every time you see, but you see that light move a little bit. I won't have any of that when I bring the ring light in here. I guess I'll move it around back and forth. I probably should get have two. So it's so much easier when you make videos if you can just sit down and click it on and just start talking. When anytime you got to go setting stuff up and setting lights up, and you're gonna just say, I don't be bothered. You know what I mean? So I might have to get a second ring light in here, or just do it a little earlier. It's beautiful today though. Nice warm. Crystal clear. I think he got raped in prison and sound like a woman. No, distant love. You love her. You love her. You love her. Ooh. How can you treat my heart so mean and cruel? No, he said he's been to jail, but not to prison. He seemed like he might have some emotional issues going on there. I mean, I guess anybody who's transitioning, at some point are going to have to work some things out. He said sees a therapist and all that, but there is no reason that person owes us all that. Who are we that we can go in here and demand all this talk from all these damn people? You know what they used to do with gay people? This is not even back in the old days. This is back in the 70s, 80s. In the 80s, gay people, they had a Griffith Park there, right? So even in the 70s, they would still go and raiding the parks. Was it 70s, 80s? They would raid the parks. And anybody who was in the park after a certain hour, they all got sex crimes because they were in the park where people cruised at. And before that, they used to go into gay bars. So if you went to a gay bar, let's say in 1969, and your hand went over and touched another man's ass in the bar, you had to carry a sex crime. They would arrest you. This was what Stonewall was all about. You couldn't touch each other. And when they danced, they had to dance apart from each other. No touching. Soon as you touch somebody, that would be considered a sex crime. So we don't know. If your boyfriend, if you are 16 years old and your boyfriend is 17, no, he got to be 18. Let's take another number. If you were 17 years old and your boyfriend was in the same class as you, he got left back 1 year. So he's a year older than you. Do you know if your parents decided to, they could have you arrested for a sex crime because she was 17 and he was 18 or 19? That's all it would take, honey. So you don't know. People get on here, they get to trying to justify and explain themselves. They start talking frontwards and backwards and all this kind of shit. And it's not our business, people. It ain't. Stop trying to make everybody a goddamn child molester. Anyway, I hate that subject. But that thing about the bars was very, very true. Even today in Los Angeles, do you know if you are a drag queen and it's still on the books, they don't enforce it. They haven't enforced it for years and years and years. I think in Texas too. You cannot disguise your appearance, right? So if you are a male and you are dressed in female clothing, they could arrest you because you were attempting to hide your identity. And they would say, well, we don't know if you're a bank robber. We don't know what the hell you are. You hiding your identity. You can't be in drag. So you weren't even allowed to wear lipstick. There's been all kind of rules and laws. We don't know everything, honey. Get a ring light. Yeah, I have one. I have one, Jazzy. I have it on my other computer. I very rarely use them, really. This thing is not going to need too much illumination. But I have one, but this is almost the same size as my desk. So I might have to put it on a tripod or something. But if you do it in the daytime, you won't even need that. I mean, yesterday I didn't even have one on here. I barely need one on now. I'll probably turn on a couple more lights. But yeah, I have one. They even have the little small ones. That wouldn't work for this. They have the little small ones now for your cell phone. But I have a big one, and I rarely use it anymore. You have to use them if you record at night, though, right? As a matter of fact, I think I saw something on here that said backlight. There's a backlight built in this thing. This is only the second time I've sat down at this thing since yesterday, so I believe there's something called a backlight in here. Don't get me to start looking for stuff. And it might light it up. Phones have that too. Mm-hmm. Get a second ring light from Amazon. Okay. They're always on sale. Okay. I don't know where I have to put it on here though. You can always rig them up. Think about doing it in your living room. Then every time somebody comes over your house, you got it set up like a damn studio. I think that's why T.S. Madison. Remember when they started the Queen's Court, and they had it in the living room and looked all sexy and everything, and Kaya was going crazy because she wanted to stay in the living room. Kaya was impressed by being in their house, and then when T.S. Madison moved into the basement, that's when all the trouble started. Girl, we can do it right here, girl. T.S. Madison says, honey, I do not want to come downstairs every day. It looked like a damn crime scene, like you're making porn movies in here or something. It's too much of a hassle to start picking things up, taking them apart. This, all I got to do is turn it on. So, yeah. We'll get a ring light. I'll probably put it in here tomorrow. Hey, Squeenie, woof, woof. Woof, woof, woof. Woof, woof. Gave my baby so much fried chicken. I had fried chicken. He loved that gristle, right? But then, if I feed him before, anytime I'm making food for myself, I have to go and eat my food first, and table feed him, or he will not touch his food until mine is already devoured, right? So he ate almost a whole damn chicken drumstick. So I'm delaying his meal. He's probably full, but he won't eat it. He won't touch his food until if I bring anything in there. He always got to work the room first. Calling people child molesters. Yeah, I mean, 5 months or so. How dare you call me? How dare you? Who are you to talk to me? Girl, did you just call me a child molester for the whole goddamn world to hear? The fuck you mean? I'm telling you, stop saying my name. Stop spreading those rumors about me. That's cruel. You don't do people like that. We don't know shit about that child. Whatever. I'm not watching the 2.5 hours to try to figure it out. They used to always call gay people. That is the strangest oxymoron there to be. Because all the gay people I ever met, they're like men. They want muscles all over his body. I don't care if he's medium or old, just as long as he's beautiful. I just need something I can hold on to. They let Michael Jackson get away with that one. He wrote the song for Diana Ross. I said, they didn't question you about that? All over his body. Yeah, you go to gay neighborhoods, they don't even like regular clothes. Everything got to look masculine. They like a lumber shirts. Every pants got to be 501s. They ain't be having no slacks on them like that. We like menses. So that whole pedophile thing, that's a whole totally different other thing, honey. Hi, Tracy with the T. Tracy T/T. How you doing? Them streets was dry today, baby. 3 heartbeats. Hi, they love. Who is 3 heartbeats? Are they in here now? Get behind. So, wait a minute. Behind the throne, you got a new name? I know that's you. Get behind me, Satan. Get your ass back there. See, I miss people. Chin hairs come chin hairs come in all genders. Okay. What that means, you know. So I don't know. I mean, what is so important about what Jay Speaks says exactly? I mean, why is that an important story? Why did we even make it? Is it because of our disdain for the Fire Monster? I jumped on a live on a panel because I just thought it was strange that this person would come out of nowhere and start asking all these questions about the Fire Monster, and like it appeared to be he was caping for the Fire Monster, like something was wrong with us for bothering. He wants to know, why do you hate her? Well, what is it? Is it the ministry? So now it makes sense now. He's trying to figure out how to get up in them coin. What is she doing that I can emulate? How do I do it? So Jay Speaks, you don't want to come on here with no $30 and $40 a night. Show me where the money resides, baby. I'm sure he had no idea that it would cause him so much trouble. But like the example of Sir King, you get to see that sometimes you can turn that into your platform. Yep, that's right, WWE diva. I went 2 years without sex, and I'm still a heterosexual. That's right. It don't change because you stop having sex. I have never considered myself anything other than gay, period. Even though I ain't had sex in years and years. And when I was having sex every day, that didn't change the level of gay I was. We put too much on this sex stuff. Everything's about sex, sex, sex. When you're young, I guess you feel like it is all about sex, but it ain't. It ain't, baby. So she kept trying to say that he was asexual. And he said, well, where did that come from? I mean, I didn't tell you I was asexual. I don't even know what that is. So that's what I mean by she was feeding him his story. He wasn't talking about no twin sexuality. He wasn't talking about being both. He wasn't talking about being asexual. All that came out of Mona's mouth. Now, Mona says her training is in psychiatry, so I don't know if they had already had a conversation. But according to both of them, their first conversation was yesterday when they had arranged for this interview. So maybe she asked him a couple of surface kind of questions, but Mona, she uses all that kind of language anyway. But don't confuse somebody else even more than they're already confused. If they want to find the right language, I just say that you tell me what you are. I don't. You tell me what you are, honey. If you tell me your name is Bubba, you go by him, he, them. That's what I'm gonna call you. You tell me your name is Miss Thing. Okay, hi Miss Thing. That's it. It's not for me to tell you what I'm gonna call you. Makes you celibate. How many women y'all know in the 80s having sex? So what are they, bisexuals now? I mean, whether they're homosexual or heterosexual, how many of them are having sex? RJ Supreme, oh, you haven't been in here. I used to make all my videos in here. I used to make, when I was doing uploads were like 10, 15 minutes. But I used to like doing them in here. And then I got a new computer in there, and this one, the one that was in here, it wouldn't do, I couldn't do live videos in here. So I started going in there. So now I do both. It's good to have both. And it's good to get a new computer though. I mean, because they say that there should be changed every 4 or 5 years anyway. So you can stretch it out to 8 or 9 years, but I got that other one used. So, but the guy who bought it at Safeway, he was really excited about it. I said, well, it's a perfect computer, works perfectly fine, as long as you're not going to make live videos. He said, oh no, I'm giving it to my granddaughter. So yeah, she'll be able to do everything with it. Apple's a good computer. Mm-hmm. Only one thing that does frustrate the shit out of me though, I hate all these goddamn passwords. You people think, maybe it's because I'm old, honey. Every time you do anything, you got to get a sign on a password. Then your other computer, oh no, you can't use that password because you use it on your other computer. You got to have a new password. Oh, are you using that password on your Wi-Fi in your house? Oh, this has got to be a different password, right? Every damn thing has got to be a different password. You see how many of them are marked out, and how many of them are from the same company, and how many notes. And every time I want to get on the damn computer, I got to go through all of these notes and try to figure out what the hell is the password. This thing is full. Now I started a new one. Okay, let me simplify it. I'll just get the main ones. But very soon, I just started doing 3 weeks ago. They already started to fill up more passwords. Everything needs a damn password. Oh, it makes me nuts. And so now, even just turning this thing on yesterday, I've already picked up like 4 new passwords. And I shouldn't have done that. I should have just stuck with my old passwords. But many times they tell you, okay, you can't use that. You got to add a letter or something like that to it, right? So if you change anything on it, that changed the password. So now you got to remember what you added onto it. I always struggle with that. You guys ain't got to tell me, oh, there's an app on your computer where you can store all your passwords. But don't they blank them all out though? That gets me even more confused, honey. And so many of them are old. And then you say, okay, I'll cross that one out. I got a new one. Okay. Oh, no, you can't use that one. So you cross that one out, and then you got a new one. Then your phone's got 3 or 4 of them too, to get into your email. That's got 3 or 4. Your computer in there it's got another 3 or 4. This one's already got 3 new ones for sure. And make you nuts. And I do think it gets more complicated as you get older, honey. A young person could probably say, listen, I got 2 passwords, and just write it down and don't change whatever. They know how to do it. I don't see them having all these kind of brain parts that I see people my own age in dealing with these electronics. Basically, we wasn't raised with them, honey. We don't know about them damn passwords. No, it's not just the password. It's because you have to have, what's that other thing? You got to have domain name or your sign-in name, and it's got to match with the passwords you use. Get ye behind me, Satan. Okay, so looking super clear on this mic, on this Mac. Okay, yeah, I'm using the microphone inside of the machine. I guess if it works, why fix it, huh? I'll just stay like this, keep it simple. Let me see. Now, one thing I couldn't do on the other Apple. Let me see if I can do it on here. Okay, leave. Okay, I can leave. Oh, that's good. I can leave this page open and go and check on my YouTube. Sometimes there's breaking news. Okay. Sometimes there's breaking news. Somebody dropped some hot tea while you was online. Hold on a minute. Nope. Nicole Kardashian. Okay. Is it Cleo Kardashian? Funky Master Flex? Them old Kardashians, something else, ain't they? No, I don't see anything that applies to me. You guys, I would be covering the George Floyd story. Is such an important story, but that is such a big story And there's so, I mean, you would have to spend too much time following each detail of it that I said, no, we'll talk about that when we come to a minute. News, no. At some point, they'll announce the verdict. And that's when the potential for trouble is going to. So, no, I haven't followed it blow by blow. All right, that's about it. How y'all doing today? Thanks for coming in, people. Love you guys. Hi, Tracy. So nice to see your face. You weren't even gone a whole day. They're acting like you was a dead woman. It wasn't even 24 hours. That makes me very happy. All right, you guys, take care of yourselves. I don't know if Mona's still on there or not. She's coming back by hook or crook, honey.